Okay, so we are going to solve a system of linear equations by using row-reduced echelon form. And first we want to turn this into a matrix by taking the coefficients. So it's 1, 3, 1, 10, 1, negative 2, negative 1, negative 6, and 2, 1, 2, 10. And we want the end product to be 1, 0, 0, 0, 1, 0, 0, 0, 1. So basically we want the constants to be 1. So x, y, and z. So first we'll take row 1 times negative 1 plus row 2, and we'll store that in row 2 to make this 0. So 1 times 1 is negative 1, plus 1 is 0. 3 times negative 1 is negative 3, plus negative 2 is negative 5. And 1 times negative 1 is negative 1, plus negative 1 is negative 2. And 10 times negative 1 is negative 10, plus negative 6 is negative 16. And we'll just fill in the rest of the numbers. And now we want this to be 0. So we'll do row 1 times negative 2 plus row 3, and we'll store that in row 3. Oh, make that bigger. So 1 times negative 2 is negative 2, plus 2 is 0. 3 times negative 2 is negative 6, plus 1 is negative 5. And 1 times negative 2 is negative 2, plus 2 is 0. And 10 times negative 2 is negative 20, plus 10 is negative 10. Again, we'll fill in the rest of the numbers. Okay, now we're going to do a row swap. So I'm just going to swap row 2 and row 3. So then it will be 1, 3, 1, 10, and 0, negative 5, 0, negative 10, and 0, negative 5, negative 2, negative 16. So now we want this negative 5 to be a 0. So I'm just going to come up here, and it will be row 2 times negative 1 plus row 3, and store that in row 3. So So 0 times negative 0 is 0, plus 0 is 0. Negative 5 times negative 1 is 5, plus negative 5 is 0. And negative 1 times 0 is 0, plus negative 2 is negative 2. And then negative 10 times negative 1 is 10, plus negative 16 is negative 6. Okay. And now we want this negative 2 to be a 0. So I'll just take R3 times negative 1/2. So obviously zeros stay zeros. Negative 2 times negative 1/2 is 1. And negative 6 times negative 1/2 is 3. So just fill them in. Okay, so now I'm going to make that a 1 by multiplying row 2 times negative 1/5. So zeros stay zeros. Okay, negative 5 times negative 1/5 is 1, and negative 10 times negative 1/5 is 2. So then we'll just fill them in again. Okay, now I'm going to make some space because we ran out. So I'm just going to rewrite that. We have 1, 3, 1, 10, 0, 1, 0, 2, and 0, 0, 1, 3. So now we just need this 3 to be a 0 and this 1 to be a 0. So I'm going to take r at row 2 times negative 3 plus row 1. I'm going to store that into row 1. So 0 times negative 3 is 0, plus 1 is 1. 1 times negative 3 is negative 3, plus 3 is 0. And 0 times negative 3 is 1. 0 plus 1 is 1. And 2 times negative 3 is negative 6, plus 10 is 4. So then again, we'll fill them in. And now we'll do row 3 times negative 1 plus row 1 and store that into row 1 to make that 0. So 0 times negative 1 is 0, plus 1 is 1. 0 times negative 0, 0 plus 0 is 0. And negative 1 times 1 is negative 1, plus 1 is 0. And 3 times negative 1 is negative 3, plus 4 is 1. So I'll just fill them in once again. And as you can see, we have reached the point where all the constants are 1, and we have solved the equations. So x equals 1, y equals 2, and z equals 3.